In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Genius Brain Podcast. We got a very special motherfucking guest today. One of the funniest motherfuckers on the internet till this motherfucking day. You stupid, smelly sons of bitches. It's KevOnStage.
You cuss so fluently and freely.
I love, you know why I started cursing a lot when I was younger? It was actually a way for me to cope with punching things. So I used to get so angry when I was younger. I used to get in a lot of fist fights.
Really?
I used to punch shit a lot. So these two, if you look at these two knuckles right here, these knuckles are just gone. They're just down here because I used to, I had a really bad anger problem when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So instead of getting angry, getting into fist fights and punching people, I just decided to curse and just verbally let it out.
And was that relaxing and therapeutic?
Yes, it's very therapeutic. I love it. Now it's just a part of my vernacular, which I'm trying to get rid of it a little bit, but it's hard.
Oh man, it's so you though.
It is, and that's the funny thing with like the YouTube monetization thing. It gets me hard because I curse a lot.
Yeah.
And arguably, there's a lot of people who put up worse content than I do.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
YouTube, bro. YouTube hates so much. My comments have been off on my channel for like 7 months now.
What?
Because that whole pedophile thing, you remember that?
Yeah.
So that whole pedophile ring, I used to have my kids on my channel a lot. So apparently, like, my channel got flagged like pedophile. I don't know what it was. Maybe my kids swimming or something like that. But they would put like the number where kids had their shirt off or were dancing suggestively or whatever. And they would make playlists. So for whatever reason, my channel got flagged like, hey, this guy be having kids in his videos. So YouTube turned off every comment on all my videos moving forward. So for since like February, and I fought back with them and stuff. And they were just like, nah, man. So I'm like, hit up YouTube creators to top people. YouTube was trying to book me. I'm like, bro, y'all trying to book me? I can't even get my comments on. So it was like killing my channel. So I had to start a whole new YouTube channel and start from scratch because people were like, bro, I want to comment.
Yeah, people.
Like, it's part of the whole experience to comment. Like, some of the video I click on, and as I'm listening, I read the comments, see what people are saying. So I'm just like, bro, YouTube, y'all don't really care about creators at all.
It's once it became a business model, that's when the creator aspect of it started to disappear, right? Because at the end of the day, when you look at people who have arguably a lot worse content than us and they get a pass, it's because their view count is so high.
Logan Paul.
Look at him.
A lot of this stuff started from that Suicide Forest video. Yeah. They want to make sure they could still advertise him, even if they had to punish the rest of the community. Yeah. So, because I was, that whole thing is infuriating, man.
That boy makes so much money, man. Like, it's weird because I think for somebody like that, he has a God complex, and I'm not giving him a pass or anything. Yeah. But when you don't know any better, it's like that whole Justin Bieber effect, right? Yeah. Everybody is a yes man around him. Yes. He doesn't know any better. Like that kid Bieber. I remember when I saw this video, it was him playing ball, right? Right. I think he lightweight crossed somebody up, and he went, ooh, to the camera. I was like, number one, relax. Number two, that shit wasn't dope. And number three, you're not black, so relax. Just because like Usher co-signed you doesn't make you black. Right. Fucking relax, kid. Right. It's because nobody smacked him before. Yes. And that's what happened. Yes. He grew up getting slapped across his face.
Yes. And the bigger you are, the less likely people are to tell you anything that might put them in a position to lose that relationship with you.
Oh, for sure.
That's what happened to R. Kelly. It's like, bro, he can't even book tickets because he can't read. And people are like, I know this is illegal, but I got to get paid.
That documentary, I always say it's not even really about him. It's about everybody else that knew he was fucking up and they just gave him a pass.
People are not trying to mess up their check.
Yeah.
Like if this cost me my own job, bro, do what you do.
He would patrol around elementary schools.
Oh, bro. It was terrible.
I've never laughed. So that's why I say it's like, who are you first? Are you a human first or are you a comic first? Because I laughed throughout that whole thing and I was in tears laughing because they just had like the most dramatic scenes of him walking next to an elementary school, like in black and white. I'm like, this is fucking hilarious. This is a Dave Chappelle sketch. This is a Dave Chappelle sketch, but it's real life.
Right. This is the real apps. And people still defended him. So like right now, like his fans bailed him out of jail $100,000 for him to get arrested like 3 weeks later. Now you're out of $100,000.
Bailed out by his fans?
Yes. A fan of his who was like a lawyer in another state put up $100,000 to bail him out, and he got arrested on another set of charges like 3 weeks after that.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
People just don't care, man.
His interview with Gayle King was the one that did him in, though. that thing did him in super
I don't know how to hog tie people. What would a hog tie? I was like, this is just gold.
You might as well just say you did it at this point.
The funniest part, he was like, you know what my problem is, Gayle? She's like, what? He was like, I got such a big heart. I got a big heart, and people keep taking advantage of me. I was like, you really believe that is your problem? That you have a big heart and people take advantage of you?
No, it's
that
not your big heart.
Insane.
It's your fucking big dick that goes into kids, you little fucking rapist. That's what it is.
That's your problem. That is your real problem, not your big heart.
That motherfucker was crazy. It's crazy because you can't really get a pass on anything nowadays. Not that he should. I'm just saying that if you have done something terrible in your life, it's going to come to light.
Absolutely.
It's just people can find anything about you.
Listen. People be finding old tweets when they're mad because I pissed off a whole bunch of Taylor Swift fans like a week or so ago.
Oh, what'd you say?
So somebody tweeted, one of her fans was like, man, she looks mixed here. Taylor Swift looks mixed.
Taylor Swift?
And a picture of Taylor Swift. And I'm like, I mean, come on. Like, she looked milk. I was making all these jokes like she's mixed with 90% milk and 10% milk and Greek yogurt and cottage cheese. Like, what is Taylor Swift mixed with but rice and snow?
What did she say she looked mixed with?
Black. Like they didn't say, but it was like hinted that she looked black because it was kind of like a dark filter or whatever. So I'm assuming it meant black, but it wasn't even matter what the race was. She looked like notebook paper and printer paper. So her fans got mad at me and they were like, he'd been tweeting her for clout forever. And they found a video I did of her like 2016, like. So 3 years ago, and I had totally forgot I made this video completely because I make a video like literally every day. Yeah. And I was completely forgot I made this video. I was like, y'all really tweeted KevOnStage, Taylor Swift, and searched to see how often I talk about her. People, and all these people, their profile picture was her. Every tweet was about her. Like when she released music, how they feel about this song, this interview she did. People, I'm like, y'all really need to do something else with your time.
Do yourself a favor and step in front of a car, you stupid sons of bitches. How about that? Let me tell you this. Taylor Swift don't give a fuck about you.
Oh my God.
Taylor Swift doesn't give a fuck about you. You think that if you pray to her fucking altar, she's going to come down someday and give you a fucking hand in anything in your life? Let me tell you something here, you stupid sons of bitches. Nobody gives a fuck about you. How about that? You know what the crazy thing is, Kev, is you're a somebody. That's why people care.
You are so aggressive.
If I said that shit, nobody gives a fuck.
Right.
Like, and you think like Taylor Swift even cares? Like she doesn't.
Absolutely.
And it's not like you're making fun of Taylor Swift. You're making fun of the people that thought she's mixed.
Exactly. So I was like, what are you defending?
Yeah.
Are you arguing that she does in fact look mixed? That couldn't be true.
Yeah.
So it's just like the internet is crazy though. What are you going to do?
She looks white as fuck though.
Bruh, there's like no other celebrity that looks more white than her. Like she is the poster child for a white woman. Like fam, this is Taylor
She's
Swift.
like on a bag of Iron Kids fucking.
Her name is Taylor. That is the whitest name. Like stop. She's white.
Yo, who started that shit? That's fucking unreal.
I don't know, man.
Somebody I look mixed too, then you motherfuckers. Fuck it, I look real mixed. I'm a 6 foot Asian. Guess I'm mixed with a little black too. Then fuck that. Everybody just want to be black nowadays. It's the cool thing to do, huh?
It's the cool thing to do until the police pull up.
It's funny because Twitter always got some crazy shit popping off, and I think there was something not too long ago where Diddy was talking about. It was a weird comment because I didn't know how to feel about it because Diddy was putting up a video of these kids kind of dancing to like hip hop music. Right? There's a bunch of white kids, and he goes, he doesn't like the fact that white kids are appropriating black culture. And then I was like, oh, okay, I can kind of see that, right? Yeah. And then I saw another flip where somebody responded to him. They go, that's funny that you say that you don't like that these white kids are appropriating black culture, but you are the ones selling it to them that they should do it. So because you're profiting off of them, they're spending the most money on you.
Absolutely.
So you're the source of it. So who are you to say anything?
Yes.
I was like, I
get that. Because without white people buying music and going to concerts, rappers wouldn't be as rich as they are. White people, suburban kids, they were buying music, merch, ticket prices, like all that stuff. Like they consume, if not more than black people a lot of times. There's also much more white people in America. Yeah. So you're right. That is your customer base. But I feel like the thing that as a black person, the thing that's like frustrating is like people get to do all the black stuff, like participate in everything that black people create, and often monetize it more than black people can. Yeah. And they never reap any of the negative benefits. Yeah. So like Hot Girl Summer, for example, like Megan Thee Stallion coined that term, Hot Girl Summer. She's black, beautiful black woman from Houston. White makeup brands are like, are you ready to have a hot girl summer? They don't know who Megan Thee Stallion is. They're just profiting off of something she created. She's never going to see a dime from any of that. And, 2 months from now, they're not going to, even be using that term anymore. So she created something, people profited off it, don't give anything to her. and they move on. That's happened to black people over and over and over. Yeah. So it's just be like, bro, y'all don't ever have to deal with none of this stuff, but it's cool to engage in what we help create. So it's kind of like a
that makes a lot of sense. It's kind of like how Asian people feel about kind of our food, right? So for example, when I was a kid, and if I had to bring Asian people food, right? Let's say I brought something basic like fucking noodles or chow mein, right? Yeah. Like white people got their spaghetti and shit. But if I brought chow mein, it's like, oh, you're eating fucking worms. But now you see a lot of white chefs, they come up and they go, this is how you should eat the food. This is not how I feel, but this is how a lot of Asian people feel. It's like, oh, so it's cool now because you do it.
Yes.
You know, but when I did it, I got made fun of for it, right?
Absolutely.
Same thing with like how when dreads were really popping with white people, they started coming out with the dread thing. And it's like, wait, wasn't that supposed to be dirty people hair like you said?
Exactly. You know? But once white people get attached to it, it's cool, it's safe. You know what I'm saying? So that's what's frustrating for minorities all over. I remember I was watching this dude, Gordon, the dude from Hell's Kitchen. He was trying to tell some Asian dude how to make noodles. And the dude was like, bro, this is trash. Like the Asian dude didn't care who he was. Gordon Ramsay. The dude was like, this is the worst looking noodles I've ever. Like you shouldn't even be cooking me. You shouldn't even say you're a chef. This is so. But he's like, no, I had to put a spin on it. Like, bro, nah.
Like take this shit out of my fucking face, dude.
This is the worst. And like you were saying, this is like a basic thing. Like you shouldn't even be cooking this food if you can't master this.
Yeah.
You don't try the other stuff. And it was just so funny because I bet white people be like, oh, we really be doing this.
Yeah,
like,
I put up this tweet that people really fuck with. It was when Gordon Ramsay was putting up this recipe for the best tacos ever. I was like, listen, your British ass. Get the fuck taco, bro. Dog, there's people in the United States that can't do tacos well, unless they're from California and they're Mexican. Yes. So I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, dude. Your taco was whack. With a capital H, whack. And I love Gordon Ramsay too, by the way. I fucking love Gordon Ramsay. There's this weird phase too where people are going, I don't know how I feel about this, and I want to know your opinion on this.
Yeah.
Like, I always find fucking white guilt the funniest thing to me because it's
the best.
I know somebody that posts every other Insta story post is about how white people should repent for their sins, and he's like the whitest motherfucker I ever met in my life, and he's quoting like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, everybody, and he's trying to make white people feel as bad as possible for being white. And for me, when I see that, I'm just like, man, you're doing too much, bro. Like I understand you want to be on this side over here, but you gotta hate yourself. He hates his skin. Like I think he hates himself. Like he wakes up and he's like, fuck you. You know?
The mirror?
Yeah, he just looks at himself in the mirror. He goes, fuck you and your pale ass skin, dude. You and your white privilege. And then he goes and starts whipping himself like in his bathroom and shit. Like, I'll show you his post after. He's a really cool dude. I love the dude a lot. But I started looking at his post. So I was like, damn, bro, you really hate being white, man.
Right.
Like, fuck. Like, what's going on?
I don't think as black people, we're not asking that. Yeah. Right? Like, I think a lot of times all we want is like the mere acknowledgement. Like, bro, just you don't have to, obviously you know, people are like, I didn't own slaves. Obviously you personally didn't own slaves and maybe your family didn't either, but that doesn't mean you don't reap the benefit of white people. Like I think, like I was talking about this is a really interesting example. You're familiar with Sons of Anarchy?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a motorcycle show. If you guys don't know about it, motorcycle show about white bikers and they commit crimes and do all this stuff, right? So I remember like after the show went off, I was driving up the 405 and I saw like a group of bikers. I'm like, man, they're probably finna go sell some drugs or guns. And I was like, dang, why would I think that? Like, I don't know these guys. Yeah. And I realized the media is the reason I thought that, because I watched that show. Now take that to black people, and how many times on the news you've seen black drug dealers and black people paraded across your screen and they're thugs, all the way back to slavery. Like they want to rape our white women. That's what these black people want to do, when in fact, it was really white slave masters who were raping black women, but they flipped it around and made people scared of black people. So now you have that bias that you don't even realize you've been internalizing your whole life. If you're not black, you're like, man, them people are probably scared. So even black people, sometimes you see black people coming with the hoodie and you're like, oh, let me lock my door. Yeah. Because so many times you're afraid of big black guy in a hoodie, he's menacing. Like that stuff happens to me all the time. We're in stores, people follow us around and all that type of stuff. And you realize like part of that isn't you personally, but it's you being a part of society, and society is painting black people, especially black men, one way all the time. You internalize that, and people don't even realize that.
There's a huge example of that where I talked about it earlier in the podcast. Is when I first started. My best friend, he's Rwandan, big old black dude, 6'1". We took this picture in a bar, right? And it was me. It was his cousins, right? So Dahiro, Katego, Gabo, and me, and then one of his other buddies he's a neurosurgeon, and we just took a picture because I haven't seen these guys in a minute. And they're like family. Like we grew up together in Sacramento.
Yeah,
we took a big photo, and then one of the top comments was David's trying to get his hood card, and I'm like, hood card? Right. I was like, these two dudes, his mom is the ambassador for Rwanda. He's a doctor, and that's a neurosurgeon.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're like, but they're black, though. So they're probably from the hood.
And nothing about what they were wearing said anything about hood shit. Yep. And it kind of clicked in my head. I was like, oh, that's interesting. Yeah. I'm not trying to be on some woke shit, but for me, I'm like, I'm in that group of picture, I'm the piece of shit.
Right.
You know what I mean?
What are you, a content creator?
Yeah, I'm a clown.
Wow, you're a YouTuber.
Yeah, the fucking doctor and a neurosurgeon. So I'm standing here like, damn, I don't deserve to be in this photo.
Yeah.
But when you see that, I guess image-wise, I guess for people who didn't grow up around black people, it's more like that's the stuff that they're fed.
Absolutely.
So for them, what they see is, oh, he's trying to up his hood card.
Absolutely.
I was like, hood card? These are fucking physicians.
Absolutely, man. But you wouldn't think that.
Yeah.
That's not the first thing you think. It's funny because we tour as comedians, me, Tony, Doughboy, and Tahir, right? So people, I can't even tell you how many times white people would see us in the airport or restaurant and be like, oh, are you guys football players? Like, do we look like look at my body. Do I look like a professional athlete? Are you guys in the NBA? The NBA, Doughboy is 300 pounds. What about us looks like we are professional athletes? We can't figure it out. They're like, man, what are you guys doing on the plane? And so I'm diamond on Delta, so I'm always in first class. White people be like, this is the first class line. Yes. I know. That's why I'm standing in it. Yeah. Because I'm flying first class and I'm diamond, or I get on at this time. They're like, oh, well, I didn't know, because you just assume that you shouldn't be here. And that's the thing about white people. Like, people are like, all white people are racist. That's not true. Yeah. Right? But what happens is a lot of people are okay with you doing whatever you do as long as it makes sense that you should be doing it. Like, you can fly on the plane, but you shouldn't be in first class. Yeah. That's where it's you. But it usually is mostly white people. Yeah. So when people are doing stuff out of the ordinary, that's when it feels weird. The whole Trayvon Martin thing is like, well, why are you walking with a hoodie in this neighborhood? You don't belong here. And that's what it is. It's the white people feel. There's this whole article that was going viral. Like, the title is, have you ever noticed white people never move out of your way? Like on the street. And it was like, all these people were like, yeah, like, it's like, I belong here and I'm going to walk. And if you were in my way, then you should move. And a lot of this stuff is subconscious because, to be white is to feel like you belong here and people should move out of your way.
My friend told me that the annoying thing about me, he goes, you know what this is when I was in Sacramento. He goes, whenever you see a white person on the sidewalk, he goes, you purposely don't move out their way.
Right. You don't?
I don't. Because of that shit.
Yeah, they expect it.
Because I always had to move out of their way.
Yes.
That's so fucking funny you said that. Yes. I just had that conversation last week. He goes, I know for a fact when we walk on a sidewalk, we're not the ones moving out the way because you refuse. I was like, I refuse.
Right.
Because why do I gotta always do it?
Why? And people, well, go ahead. And we think it's polite. Yeah. But you're kind of trained to like, well, let me just get out the way. And a lot of time, and it's fine if everybody does that. But this group of people, they don't seem to play by those rules as much as everybody else does. Yeah. And they don't even realize it. A lot of times they're like, I didn't even know. Like, minorities, we be knowing white people better than they know themselves. And that's why I hate the whole like, go back to your country thing that people say to minorities. Because I feel like minorities love America more because we see it for what it really is. Yeah. It's not the same for everybody else. So the fact that we love it and we criticize it comes from a place of love, not we want to leave. And man, you brought us here. We was in Africa chilling. You stole us and brought us and now tell us to go back. You should have left us here. We would have been fine. We was in Africa chilling. We had our own religion and dances and freaking Egypt. You saw what we did? Leave us alone.
It's kind of crazy.
I can't go back. I've never been there.
Go back to your country. It's like, they don't want us there either. Right. They don't. Fucking African people hate black people.
Bruh, for real though.
People don't know that shit.
No, they do not rock with African Americans.
Look at these lazy motherfuckers.
Exactly. Yeah,
they over here in this country, they think that they could do whatever they want.
Exactly. They're not playing around with us. Yeah, so because where are we supposed to go?
I had this conversation with my friend Amina, and she was telling me like when she first came here, like she heard a lot of stuff about kind of the stereotypes with black people, right? Yeah. And maybe for her, and maybe it's because her parents fed her that stuff too, she goes, yeah, I don't understand what the big deal, but they don't know about systemic like oppression and stuff like that. But they just see a lazy person, right? And they go, well, because African people, from what I've heard from African friends of mine, they go, they consider themselves immigrants, not black people. Right? Like we're immigrants. Yes. And we have that immigrant hustler mentality.
Absolutely, and a lot of times they do because when you come from another country to America, you've left everything behind. Like I gotta make it. And that hustle is not often there. We were talking about this off camera. Like people who come to LA to make it often work harder than people who are born and raised in LA because they can always go to their mom's house or their cousin's stuff. If you ain't from here, it's either make it or you got to go back home. Yeah. And a lot of times you can, like when I moved here, I had rented my house out in Washington. My parents lived in North Carolina, full house. Like it's either make it here or no plan B. Mm-hmm. Like you gotta make it. So that hustle mentality is even 2 or 3 times or 10 times harder if you're an immigrant. Like you gotta hustle because I'm not going back there. Like you gonna make it and my kids gonna make it and y'all better be a doctor, lawyer, engineer.
Yeah.
Nothing in between.
I always said this too. African people are so fucking similar to Asian people. It's unreal, dude. The way they beat their kids, negative reinforcement.
Yeah, man, like I be feeling, and my mom whooped me, but she believed in me. Yeah. Like Asian parents and African parents, like, do y'all love y'all children? Dude, like you can never be good enough.
People will be so surprised, man. Like I tell these stories. I remember when I went to college and we were sharing like family stories, right? And mind you, I grew up around mainly Black and Asian people. Yeah. And so when we would share stories of our family, they'd be like, yeah, like my parents, when they get upset, they would send me to my room. I was like, to do what? They're like, send me to my room. I'm like, for what? Like, for what? Like, what would happen after? They're like, no, they would just send me to my room. I had to wait there. Right. I was like, yeah, for what? Like, what's happening? They go, so what do your parents do? I was like, dude, my dad threw an office chair at my head. I was 6 years old.
An office chair?
Yeah, my dad literally threw an office chair at my head once. And just hit me upside my head. He used to fucking...
He hit you?
He used to WWF stomp me to the floor. Like heel to the head. Yo, my dad used to do this funny ass shit. It was funny to me now, not funny then. Right. He used to stick out his fist, right? And he would tell me to punch myself in the face. Like, I'm not even fucking lying. What? He would go, hit yourself in the face. And you would? And I would sit there and I would try to lightly tap my face. Like, it hurts, Dad. And he goes, nope, you better full force it. So I would have to headbutt my Like, I'm telling you, he had some creative shit.
Snap. That is reverse abuse. Dude, you punch yourself.
Exactly.
And hard as you deserve it as well.
Dude, my dad used to beat me so fucking bad, man. Wow. Because I think that was a good thing for me because I remember growing up in my neighborhood, people used to bully each other a lot. Yep. So I would get beat by an adult. So when I would get in a fight with kids, it didn't hurt as bad.
Nothing.
So it's like
nothing compared to what your mom does.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. This is a crazy story too I told. I remember one time, you know those commercials where they had those kids who it was like this black and white commercial, and this dad comes up, brings up his hand, and the kid goes, "No, Daddy, don't." Right. And it goes, "Yo, child abuse, you don't have to take it." And I saw that commercial, and I was like, I don't have to take it. I was like, I don't have to take this. And I got this fucking wild idea in my head. Oh, snap. And then I remember my dad, I forgot what the argument was about, but my dad was about to hit me. And I was like, you hit me? I'm calling child services on you. That's child abuse. Oh, my dad stops. He leaves the room. And in my mind, I'm like, I won. In your fucking face. He comes back with a lead pipe.
Oh my God.
And he swings it, and I duck, and he shatters the shelf behind me. And he looks at me, he goes, that's child abuse. And then I go,
yo, your dad is out of control.
That was my dad, dude. I don't give a fuck what any. That's why when people tell me they used to get beat, I was like, did you really?
I mean, I got beat, but your stories are insane. I remember I tried that with my mom. Like, I'm gonna call 911. She was like, you better call the police and the ambulance because I'm gonna go to jail. Ambulance for you, police for me. I was like, I'm not gonna call them. Who are you kidding? I got beat with hangers, extension cord,
the hanger,
switch, the phone cord. Phone cord was probably the worst one. The part that plugs into the wall.
Yep.
Because it's thin. I was like, oh, it's thin. It's not going to hurt. Man, that was the worst. But a lead pipe? They hit me with the lead pipe.
You know what the worst one was? Was the bamboo stick. I'm not even fucking lying to you, man.
Dog,
every Asian kid knows about these green bamboo sticks that used to hold up plants.
Yeah. And
so I remember my grandma used to beat me with this. So everybody in the family beat me, dude. It was like people.
Oh, that's how we grew up.
They would just tag team. You know,
if you knew your parents, they could beat you. The mailman, like, oh, you acting up? Bow with the mail? Yeah, I'll run you over too. And then your parents would then beat you for someone else having to beat you. Like, oh, you out here embarrassing the family. Wait till I get home.
That's exactly what it was. So my grandma, I remember she used to beat me with this thin little bamboo stick, right? Yeah. And the crazy thing about that shit was it was so light, like a croissant. Yeah. That shit was so quick because you could hear it, but you couldn't see it.
Yeah.
So it was just plop, and then you don't know what happens, and there's like a 2-second delay. And then you just arch it back real quick.
Oh my God, man.
I remember the day that she hit me with it and it broke. And I got so happy.
Right.
It was like I beat the last boss in Mario. I was like, that shit's done. I will never get beat by that shit ever. This evil sadistic bitch behind the fucking couch, she had like a 36 pack. And that shit was so old. She went... and dust came out like Indiana Jones, and she whipped out a fresh one. That shit was bright green as fuck, like a lightsaber. This bitch beat the fucking shit out of me with that thing.
So you got in trouble because you broke her.
Because I broke
you broke my good one?
I broke the good one with my face.
Right. I've been meaning to break this one in anyway. The whole pack?
Everybody used to beat my ass, man. Shit fucking sucked. And my brother barely got beat.
Oh, my sister was like that too.
I hated that shit.
Yeah, I took, because a lot of times they beat us in order, my older brother and me. By the time they got to her, they're like, oh, man, forget it, man. She's a little girl. She don't deserve, like, y'all had plenty of energy for being my brother. But I remember my dad beat me one time to my toes like locked up. Like that, right? He beat me. Then he came back in. I'm like still waiting for it to unlock. And he was like, and just so you know, that was 26 lashes. And I'm like,
oh my God.
Well, you thought I lost count? We know I have currently am having a toe seizure, and you want to let me know I got you for 26, and it could be 30.
That's fucking funny, man.
We were abused, you know that, right?
For sure, man. And
especially by today's standards.
Oh, like, for sure.
We were abused.
I mean, there's no way in my mind I'm thinking that's not child abuse.
Right.
But like how I always like to frame it for people is, you know, when you don't have a lot of money, right. You don't got a lot of time, and you got kids, the only way you know how to discipline your child is in the quickest way possible.
Oh
right?
My God, that is
right.
Revolutionary thought.
Yeah.
That is true. My mom worked 2-3 jobs. My dad too.
How much time do they have to sit down and say, hey, the reason why you can't do this, they don't have the time. Money is tight. They're frustrated. And you know, when money's tight, you're stressed the fuck out. You don't even know why you're in a bad mood.
Yes.
And it's just everything. And by the way, when my parents, when the money wasn't good, and they would fight more often.
Yes.
So their intermarital relationship is terrible. You got these kids that are acting up. They just know that they don't want the kids to be a fuck up. And I got to fix this real quick before I hit my other job.
David, that is revolutionary thinking. Like, that is scientific thinking, because that is so true. Because now I'm in a better position, and it takes more time to raise a child without hitting them, because you have to explain it. They got questions. You got to give them leeway and stuff like that. My parents don't. Bro, I'm tired. I'm frustrated already, and you're here doing something I told you already. Okay. It's going to be a great time. I had a terrible day at work anyway. This is stress relief, because ain't no time for therapy and hot cocoa. Ain't no hate. I remember a Full House. Bro, I remember like Michelle and them would do stuff, and the piano would come on, and Danny would get on one knee and be like, listen, slugger, this is why you can't. I would be like, man, can somebody do that to me? Where is the piano in my life?
I know where the piano was. It was on top of my head, because they fucking smashed that shit over my face. That's where the fuck the keys were. And the keys came out my mouth like in the fucking Acme cartoon. That's where the piano was, man.
Oh, snap.
I used to get beat like a motherfucker.
Hilarious,
that's why I really do empathize with my parents now that I'm a lot older, because they don't have the resources that we had.
No.
And the best thing that I like to put it to, even in terms of education, right?
Yeah.
So people say, oh, well, they might have grown up in a similar financial situation as me, right, growing up. But they go, well, so we're the same. I was like, we're not the same, because growing up, the reason why you understood is because you understood how the education system worked. You understand all the stuff. My parents didn't, and I didn't know. Right. In order for me to get into college, I had to figure that shit out for myself. My parents didn't know how to get me into college. They didn't know about scholarships. They didn't know about what your grades would do, talking to the teacher after school programs. This is all stuff that we had to figure out ourselves. And that's the advantage that people have if they are second or third generation in this country that I didn't get to have. Or if your parents didn't go to college. These are the things that we didn't get.
My parents didn't go in my neighborhood. 2 Chainz has this. You got a rapper go to the league. And like the only way I knew of like people going to college was scholarships, athletic scholarships. Like we didn't have, like, when I got to college, man, like I knew I was poor my whole life. But it became readily apparent when I went to college.
Exactly.
And I'm like, bro, you got brand new laptops and cars, and they got the maximum dorm money on their lunch card. Some of these kids had never even washed their own clothes.
Yes.
Like, I remember this funny story. I was in the financial aid office trying to get a little change. And this mom was putting all this money on her son's, like, little college car where you pay for your food and stuff. And she was like, well, who's gonna, she noticed we had like a 7-Eleven in our dorm where you could buy like burritos and soda and ice cream and, like Ben and Jerry's or whatever. She was like, I noticed they have like ice cream for sale all day. And it was a student. He was like, yeah, it's like a 7-Eleven. Kids love it. And she was like, who's gonna stop him from eating ice cream for breakfast? And the kid was like, I'm sorry? She's like, this card, he can buy anything he wants at any time. And they're like, yeah. Well, what if he wants ice cream for breakfast? who's gonna stop him? And the kid was like, he's like 18. Like if he doesn't know by now he shouldn't eat ice cream for breakfast, then he's gonna get a stomach ache, I guess. And I'm thinking like, your kid don't know that? You shouldn't eat ice cream for breakfast? And these kids really didn't know. Like most people in my class, freshmen fell out, not because they weren't smart, because somebody was always reminding them, do this, turn this in, do this at this time. And people, they're not used to waking themselves up. In my family, my mom was like, in 5th grade, she's like, I'm not finna be washing your clothes.
Yeah.
This is how you do whites. This is how you do colors. You better wash them, dry them, fold them, hang them up, whatever. And she literally stopped. And that was like 10. We were cooking dinner at 12, 13, no babysitter. There's nobody gonna come. We're leaving. We'll be gone for a couple of weeks. There's bread and water. Survive. So when I got to college, I was like, oh, bet I've been doing all this stuff on my own, wake myself up, get ready to go. And I thought everybody did that. No. People with money, bro, they don't have to worry about that stuff.
Dude, they be saying some wild shit. I remember even some basic shit threw me off. They're like, so where do you go on vacation? I'm like, what's that? You know, vacation, like when you take a break? I was like, what's that? What you mean break? Break what? Yeah, I mean, like there was like some basic shit. I had no idea what the fuck they were saying. They're like, vacation?
Yeah,
Galapagos? Where the fuck is that? What are you talking about right now?
Vacation homes, summer homes, the Hamptons. Like, bro, what are y'all what
timeshare? I was like, you rich people share time? What does that mean? I was like, what are you saying right now, man? Dog, I used to make this joke on my old stand-up set. I was like, yo, man, I remember back in the day when I first went to college, I was recording white people like I was on a safari because I had no idea what the fuck white people did. I was like, damn, these motherfuckers, they buy appetizers. Like, you know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? Like, usually it's the meal and a glass of water. Right. And then you're trying to debate whether you add a tip or not.
Right. You know just the minimum.
Yeah.
You should be happy to, and that was like growing up poor is you should be happy with everything. Mm-hmm. You should be happy for this food, whatever it is. Rice-a-roni every day, you should be thankful because a kid in Africa, that was my mom's whole thing. A kid in Africa doesn't have that. And I'm like, what is a parent in Africa telling that kid?
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? So that's the whole thing. And that's tough growing up like that way and then raising kids. Like now I'm trying not to like pass that on. And then you're stuck with like, I was taking my kids on vacation in Hawaii, in Maui, which was more expensive than even Honolulu.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm looking at the room service bill and my oldest son is mad. He's like, I'm like, what's up, man? Why are you upset? He's like, my friends they're at the Santa Monica Pier today. And I'm like,
I will body slam the fuck out.
Like I just had to leave for a second. Cause I'm like, you are in at this point, this is the most expensive vacation even I've ever been on.
Yeah.
And you talking about you've been to the Santa Monica Pier 300 times. What are you? Yeah. I'm gonna get right back with you. Because as a kid, we weren't even allowed to like say our feelings.
Yeah.
Say our thoughts. I do this joke in my set. Like if my mom was driving down a one-way street and an 18-wheeler was coming, I'd be like, well, she must want us to die. Because I would not dare correct her. Like, we'll just die then. And in heaven, I still won't correct her. I'll be like, I don't know, God. You might want to talk to her. Yeah. Terrified of our parents.
Yeah.
We lied out of just sheer fear. And my kids don't have that. So trying to learn how to raise kids without hitting them, without
you know what the beautiful thing is though
tough.
About that and the type of relationship you have with your kid on the flip side is the fact that he's open and honest with you.
Yes.
Because the other thing what fear breeds is that honesty disappears.
Absolutely.
Because they're always afraid of getting in trouble. So the first thing they think about is lying.
Exactly.
So the great thing is like your kid could actually say some stupid shit like that. I mean, he probably get smacked with that. You know? But as long as it's honest though, at least he's talking to you.
And that's the thing. Like I remember I saw this meme that was like, this is good. It's like, I'd rather my kid get in trouble and say, oh my God, I've got to tell my dad. Instead of, oh my God, I can't tell my dad.
Yep.
Like, it doesn't mean I'm going to be proud of you or anything like that. But I'd rather you be able to tell me like, I got a girl pregnant or, whatever the case is, than to be like, I can't even talk to my dad about this stuff. Like he won't even understand. That's how my parents were. It's just like, bro, y'all don't even want to know the stuff that we're thinking about because you won't.
My dad was this fool would say some lying ass shit. He'd be like, hey, if you just tell me the truth, you will never get hit. I would tell him the truth, I get my ass beat. I'm like, you should have. What is this? Either way, I'm getting my ass beat.
He probably thought that.
Yeah.
But then the truth is so upsetting. He's like, I know what I said.
He's like, what'd you do? Listen, I stabbed somebody, and he goes, okay, I gotta kill you. Come here. Like, I can't do this. I gotta fucking kill you. I was the trouble child, so my brother was really good at school, and I wasn't. Yeah. You know, it's so funny that your kid was like, oh God, my friends are at the. I was like, first of all, you're a black child at the Santa Monica Pier. That should not happen in the first place. You're supposed to go to Long Beach. What the fuck are you saying right now? Santa Monica Pier. Right. What the hell's wrong with you? You have any idea?
He's the only black kid in his friend group. There's like 2 other kids.
It's like the only people that are black that are fucking dancing on the pier, and you over there for fun? Shut the fuck up. What's wrong with you?
That's true. That's true.
It's weird though, right? When your kids have a lot of stuff that you don't, their perspective is flipped. Yes. And it's a blessing. But at the same time, like, I don't have kids yet, but when I'm ready for kids, it's kind of like, okay, how do I get this kid to understand that what you have is a blessing? That's why for me,
right.
Because I grew up at a church. My father was a pastor.
Oh,
right?
really?
And I was a youth minister for a couple of years too.
Oh, yeah. I was a youth pastor too.
There you go, man. Sin in mouth, the body of Christ.
Right.
That's what I was saying. I got an evil mouth, but I got Christian ideals though.
Right.
But when I was just looking at that, I think like I want my kids to grow up at a church. And the reason why, even I tell this too, if you guys aren't religious, have your kids go to a church. The reason why is because it teaches you community. Yeah. It teaches you that there are bigger things outside of what you do. Right. Number 3, there's free daycare on Sundays. Right. So you ain't got to worry about your damn kids. And number 4, there's free food. Right. And on top of that, there's mission trips. Yeah. Which really, really helped open my eyes as an individual. When I had to go to Mexico and I had to go to Tijuana and then build these homes and be with these people, I was like, man, I really ain't shit. Yeah. It helped me out a lot.
The perspective is out of this world. Yeah. Because you think your problems are bad. And I saw this other thing on the internet. It was like everybody threw their problems down on the ground. You pick yours back up. Because when you see what other people are dealing with and stuff, you're like, we don't have potable water or potable water. I don't know how to pronounce it. Then you just like, man, my other friends are at the beach. Like, bro, you really don't have problems like that. But inside your own little bubble, it's like the worst day ever. This is the worst thing that could be happening.
You know, I saw this video. I'll show you it later. And mind you, I met this girl. We actually did a video together. She's a very, very sweet girl. But me watching her Insta story made me realize how privileged she is in her own life, and she doesn't even realize it. Yeah. Now, I'm saying it in the nice way. Right. What I want to say is how much of a little bitch you are. But that's just how I am. That's not an insult to her. She's just a victim of her own circumstance, right? Yep. So she went once again, I got to say this, very sweet girl. And I love this girl to death. But watching that video made me want to throw something really hard. So she went to Spain on a vacation trip of some sort with her husband, which is already amazing, right? And when they were having a good time, she tried to jump on his back. She fell over and she cracked her tooth. Hilarious. Right. So... And my thing was when she put up that thing on her Insta story, I thought she was trying to tell us a funny story. It's like, yo, I cracked my tooth. But if you watch this Insta story, she goes there and she goes, I just want to say that she starts crying. Oh my God. And she goes, I took my smile for granted and I never knew what it was like to not have a tooth for 2 days. And I know it doesn't seem like a big deal, but I feel like the universe is testing me. And I'm like,
the universe is testing you because you broke your own tooth?
That's what I'm saying. And so I don't know how to deal with it. And she has crazy fans too, because you got Taylor Swift. She has like Taylor Swift fans too. Oh man! But like I said, I'm not downplaying that whatever happened to you was bad. Right. But in my mind, that happens to a lot of people.
Yes, and they don't have health care. They don't have their tooth is just chipped now. Yeah, that's just life now. There's no fixing it.
Now they're just walking around with a whistle. Right. that's it. That's life. Right. Like for her, it's like you are in a position to the point where you got to go on vacation to Spain, which for sure was a business or first class ticket. Then after your tooth chipped, you had enough money to fly immediately back to LA, then get your tooth fixed the day of, and then you're going to do this video and say, my life is hard. Come on. And it's hard for me to listen to.
That is you really the perspective of that, you really have no idea how most people are like.
This podcast is brought to you by Bombas, baby. So when I was in school, the cool and the hot thing was gel pens, Pokemon cards, some Yu-Gi-Ohs, and beyond that, sports and basketball and all that other sports and basketball, hip hop paraphernalia, son. Listen, if you were cool, you had it. And if you didn't have that stuff, you were not cool. Well, guess what's cool now, son? Bombas. And they bring out all the envy on the schoolyard, which isn't really all that surprising because they're the most comfortable kid socks ever. They're colorful, literally bursting with color. They even have a little colorful bee on them. And comfortable, so comfortable, they're designed with several comfort innovations that help them and make them feel better than any kid's socks ever made. So send your kids back to school with the socks that keep them comfy and colorful and ready to take on the school year. And let me tell you something, since Bombas donates a pair of socks for every purchase you should get yourself some too. Let me tell you something. I'm a cool kid. I wear Bombas socks. If I'm not discussing you with my feet right now, Bombas socks is blessing my feet and making sure that none of y'all see my nasty little toes. And I'm telling you right now, everybody loves my Bombas socks. They're like, where you get that socks? I'm like, Bombas, son. Bombas, baby. You know it's all about the Bombas. Yo, so check it out. Visit bombas.com/brain and get 20% off your first purchase. That's bombas.com/brain for 20% off your first purchase. Bombas.com/brain. Get on it. Get them socks. Be cool. Be poppin' and show people what's up, because it ain't about the style always on the tops. Sometimes it's about the style on the bottom, and Bombas got you, baby. Exactly.
You've been on a plane?
Yeah, exactly.
You know? Like, come on, man. Like, some people's only trip is watching other people take trips.
Yes.
Because I be seeing people do stuff, and I'm like, bro, like, especially back when I had nothing, like, bro, y'all be living life. And people don't know, man. You only know about the world from your perspective.
Yeah, and sometimes people clown on me because I go to Hawaii every year, right?
Yeah.
Like, for me, I never went on vacation. My parents don't go on vacation.
Yes.
They don't go on vacation so much, they don't like vacation.
Really?
You know what I mean?
Like they're missing out on work?
They just it feels uncomfortable for them to leave their home.
Wow.
That's how much they went on their very first vacation to Hawaii. I think it was 6 years ago. Was for the first time in their life they ever went on vacation, and it was weird for them.
That's insane.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I look at it from a perspective like that. Also too, because we're creators, we get to create our own destiny, and it's a blessing to do what we do. It is a blessing, because if it wasn't this, I definitely would probably be dead or be like doing some stupid
depressed.
shit. Depressed.
Yeah,
I'd be smoking crack for sure, dude. I'd be smoking crack instantly. Then I'd be on your podcast talking to a crackhead. Like, what's it like being the one little universe flip?
Right. Absolutely, man. That's true.
So when I see a video like that, like I said, I'm not dogging on the fact that she probably felt bad because she chipped her tooth. She's a beauty guru.
Right.
I get it. But I think most people would see that and they'd be like, oh shit, I chipped my tooth, and laugh about it and move on.
Yeah.
But the fact that you could put up a video and say, hey, the universe is teaching me a lesson.
That is absurd, man.
It's absurd to me. It's absurd.
Yeah, absolutely.
And a lot of her fan base will disagree with us.
Of course.
And that's understandable. But for me, it's like I got to always tell myself that my glass is half full.
Absolutely. And I think that's why I appreciate growing up poor.
Yeah.
Because remember, I think Warren Buffett said that. He said the most important factor in becoming rich is growing up poor. Because that hunger and lack will motivate. Like, I work now like I have not made a dime.
Oh, you specifically do. When do you not put up content? When I watch you, I feel like a piece of shit. And it's supposed to be the other way around. The fucking Asian guy looking at the black dude like, damn, you work too hard. You know, like, what the fuck is that about? We breaking stereotypes. Like, what the fuck are you doing?
I feel like if I take, and my wife and my friends be like, fam, like, it's okay. But I've seen creators who take breaks and they, like, the algorithm forgets them and
That's
their fans.
You're talking about me.
It's tough, man.
I took a year break like a dumbass. What's wrong?
And the algorithm's like, oh, they're gone.
I don't exist.
Right. It's tough. So I'm like, I cannot stop. I won't stop until I have made enough where if I took a year-long break, all my income would sustain me. Because creating in this world, like you need to take breaks. Like, I've kind of calmed down when I go on vacation. Like, I only post stuff that like maybe I got from my story or whatever. Like, I realize that I don't have to post every day. But like, growing up poor, like, everybody worked. My mom, my dad. Like, I have friends who didn't, their first job, they hadn't even had a job yet in college. Like, man, I was working under the table at 13. And my first job was, I was like busting tables for a wedding caterer, getting paid cash, 13, 14 years old.
Yeah.
Official job. I had like, when I was a kid, I had a candy business. I used to live on military bases, buy candy on base for like 30 cents, sell it for $1 off base. It's cool. Awesome. Yeah, I had a lawn mowing company. Like, in order to get it, my parents were like, bro, we ain't no extra money. You want shoes, fam? You better sell drugs, work, get a work permit. Like, I work. So it's hard to turn that off. You know what I mean? Even when I'm on vacation, I'm like, I always feel like I gotta put like, I haven't posted a video yet today. And I'm like searching on Twitter, like, I gotta find something funny. If I don't, they'll forget me. And it's just like, bro, I got podcasts coming out today. I'm shooting this podcast. I'm shooting another podcast at 5:30. Like, I'm literally shooting content all day. And I feel like I haven't done anything of value.
But see, that's the amazing thing about you, right? Is that I always see your stuff. I'm like, he is constantly in everybody's face, which is a good thing, right?
Yeah.
And the crazy thing is about you, it's like, I always say sometimes people hold things that they hold things that they think is too precious. They go, this isn't perfect yet. It's not about it being perfect.
Bingo.
It's not about it. You'll never be satisfied that way. And that was my biggest problem, right? Because my thing was like, oh, if I got to make these amazing shorts and whatever.
Yeah.
And I started fucking up that way because nothing was ever good enough. And I stopped putting things out.
Yes.
Which is stupid.
It's a lot of creators have that. Like, there's been so many times I posted a video and then like the top 3 comments are funny jokes that are funnier than anything I put in there. And I'm just like, dang. And you can't have it back. But I actually, what I do is I shoot and post before I can think too much about it. Yeah. Because I realize the more I think about it, I'm like, oh, that's not funny enough. And so, and also what's helped is a lot of stuff that I don't think is funny goes crazy viral. Yeah. So I'm just like, man, what do I know? You never know what's going to go viral. So I just think, create, edit, post, go on about my day. Yeah. And then just let the internet do what the internet's going to do. Like, you never know what you're going to do or how it's going to happen like that. So
it's so refreshing to hear that shit too, because I got two in my, I have this weird fucking habit of like when something does really well, I'm like, I'm done with it. Let me try something new. Just so fucking stupid, right? Because I'm like, all my friends do this shit. They go, yo, you did this thing. It was popping, right? Because I did this thing called Carpool Confessions and I was doing it. It was this type of style stuff. Yeah. But it was funny conversations in a car and we would just chop it up. Right. Did really well. It was averaging like 400,000 views per video, right? And I did it for like maybe 2 months and I go, I'm done with this. And I moved on. And everybody was like, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm bored. And I moved on. And so even for me, I used to do these like vlogs where I would just talk shit all the time, right?
I don't know if you know how much of a David So fan I am. It's just same with Just Kidding Film. You, JK, and Tim, I sat at my desk when I worked a regular job, hating my job, and I watched all you guys' videos. So I'm acting like I'm not a fan.
That's crazy. I didn't know that shit.
Oh, I've been trying to meet you forever.
Get the fuck out of it.
You were at ADD one time on the couch talking to Dorm Table. I'm like, he got the blacks love him, man. Where's the intro? So yeah, I mean, your vlogs were like, when you switched over to GeniusBrain, I was like, like I got it. Like I totally got it as a creator. But I was like, that was some of the world's greatest content. Like, but I can tell from the style that takes a lot of work.
It does,
like the thinking, the script writing, the editing. That's not just like I go off the top of the dome. That's one of the reasons it's easy for me. I just make it real quick and post it. But you were putting like time, joke, thought. Yeah. You know what I mean? Editing, swipe, all this stuff into it, timing, music. So I can see how that can be more taxing.
And because it's funny because I'm actually gonna go back to doing that. Not because it started becoming fun for me again. Yeah. So like I took a break from it. Now it's because I got all these damn thoughts and I just had nowhere to put it. And I'm like, hey bro, go do your damn videos again. And the other reason why I stopped doing it was because I started putting it into my stand-up. And I was like, oh,
understood.
It's like, what? Why don't you just put this into your stand-up? Yeah,
but you can do both.
Exactly, you can do both. That's the thing I fucked up on. I'm like, just because you did that joke here doesn't mean you can't put it back in your stand-up.
So much of my videos have influenced my stand-up, and stand-up influenced my videos. Like, and people will, a lot of times, not even the same people are going to consume it, like who comes to the club or whatever. And even if they do, it's a different version. It's like it's reading a book. It's a different version. You have the live energy of the crowd, all that type of stuff. But I get it on a creative sense. You feel like those are separate worlds. Yeah. But it's really just your creative engine. Yeah. And sometimes that goes into podcasts, sometimes a book, sometimes stand-up. Sometimes it can go into all three. If I write a book, I'm going to have some of the stories from my stand-up because it's
you really make me feel like I fucked up because I kept reading these comments and they're like, yo, go back to your old videos. I was like, what do these kids know? And now you say it, I'm like, fuck.
Well, the internet will try to box you in though. Yeah. Like if you give them one thing that they like, they don't want you to change anything. And as a creator, that gets boring.
I'll tell you some of the funniest shit. It's sad, but it makes me laugh too, is I'll do a regular video. Like every now and then I'll do a regular video. Yeah. I put it up. It's like 1,000 followers go up in that day. And I put a podcast up. I lose 200 followers. I'm like, you stupid sons of bitches, dude. You really hate this shit, don't you? I was like, I don't. Because the people who fuck with it heavy, right? Yes. But a lot of people miss that advice to the camera type of shit. Right.
And that's the thing. Like people, sometimes they subscribe for that and that alone.
And I fucked it up. I'm sorry, guys. Look, the podcast is great because look, I got Kev on here, man.
Yes, man. I'm here. Look at me. David's my friend.
I love your videos though, man.
Thank you, man.
Because it's so, like I said, it's just so off the top. And you could literally talk about anything and everything, which I really fucking like.
You know what's funny though? I have a fear of running out of material.
Oh, you'll never do.
For videos, and even more for videos, I'm like, okay, because the internet's always giving. But for stand-up, I'm like, man, what if I run out of stuff to talk about? But the internet and the world, like I've noticed, like if you ever notice in stand-up comedians later in their career, it's not as much original material and it's almost all current events. And I realized like if you have a viewpoint of the world, people just want to hear you.
Yeah.
Like, what's your point of view? And that's why me and you can make a video on the same exact topic, and there'll be two different videos, different. And our audience will enjoy. Like, I want to hear, if you have a true audience member, they're like, I don't care if everybody else in the world's talked about it. I want to hear David. Or I want to hear Kev. Like, I want to hear their point of view, even if it's similar, because they like your voice. And I think that's one of the benefits of doing this is people were like, I want to hear how you think about this.
That's why people fuck with Chappelle so much, man.
Yes.
I'm always waiting for Chappelle's spin on shit. And you know, I was so happy. You watched the Chappelle.
I did. I just watched it 2 days ago.
That shit was fucking crazy. So I remember because he was talking about how he was making fun of how like because I did the same shit in a stand-up set, right? But he just frames it a lot better. But it was just like the weirdest part of that Michael Jackson documentary was the fact that literally Michael Jackson jacked off to fucking Wade Robinson's butthole, and I thought that shit was the most hilarious thing I ever heard in my life. It was like, ew, don't touch me, just stay in that corner and let me jack off to the fucking Sphinx, the eye of the Sphinx, and this motherfucker just. And so I thought that shit was hilarious, right? But sometimes Dave Chappelle says shit that I can't get away with.
No, I think only the thing is at this point he's already paid.
Yep.
Like he got paid for that special. So you cannot I think this whole cancel culture thing is really interesting. Like we love to stop people from doing whatever. Like the internet does not allow you to grow as a person. You can't make mistakes. You can't think. You need to know everything right now. Mm-hmm. Everything you should know about the world. So Dave Chappelle's like, he went the whole other way with that. Yeah. Like instead of saying, I don't know if I want to step on toes, he was like, I'm going to step on every single toe that exists. The stuff nobody's talking about, I'm going to make fun of Michael Jackson and pedophilia and gay people and transgender people. And I'm like, I watched the special just like,
don't give a fuck.
Like he didn't care so much. It's like, can you even cancel him?
Yeah.
He doesn't care.
He doesn't care.
He's flipped it on its head and been like, you clicked on my face. Like that was the thing that was like, you already know from his last 3 specials, you know what he's talking about. Mm-hmm. If you still came to watch this to be upset, who do you have to blame? You don't have to choose to watch me. And I feel like that was really like refreshing because you feel like there's a lot of stuff you can't talk about. And it reminds you can talk about whatever you want. And a lot of people like secretly like, this is how Trump got elected. People were like, I'm not voting for him, but I am.
Yeah.
You know, they went in that little thing and you were like, people were like, all my boys like, did you see it? Did you see it?
Yeah.
Did you talk about it? People were laughing in their room. They don't want to admit on Twitter or Instagram that they like those jokes. Because, you know, we all have like a version of ourselves that we want people to think we are. But sometimes at home, you just want to laugh at some super dark stuff.
And that's what that shit was for me. I fucking loved it. That's why sometimes when I watch, what I liked about, because I saw a couple of clips of your stand-up on Facebook, right? I think what I liked about your stand-up the best is because it's honest, because it's about the stuff that you grew up with.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And nobody can take that from me.
Exactly. Nobody can replicate that.
Steal something that happened to me.
Yeah.
And my kid did this. You can't steal that.
Exactly.
You can steal like black people be like, white people be like, dating in LA. Like that's a lot of, parallel thinking. But the way my mom raised me, like your dad swinging a lead pipe at you, even though we all got beat growing up the way we did, we didn't get beat like that.
Yeah.
So that's a story. If you frame it as a joke, I can't steal that. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because that is a David thing. And I feel like that's how I think I'll be able to create forever, is because this is my life. And Kevin Hart said this. He said you'll always have your own life experiences and your viewpoint.
Yeah.
And if you never lose that, you'll never run out of material. You might not be able to go and that's another fear of mine, like getting progressively less funny. Because most stand-up specials are like the first one's the best. Because you've been freaking working that
for years.
Some of those jokes, like my first special that I haven't even released to the public, is still for sale. These jokes have been worked since I started. Like some of those jokes were my first time I did stand-up. They've been perfected. And you just don't have the same amount of time in between. That was like 10 years of jokes. And now I've got like 2 months to come up with the next one. And then I go on tour next year. It's 2 months. Like, obviously they're not going to be as good because that was the best. Same thing with artists. Usually people's first album is best, except for Beyonce. Hers is getting progressively better. Yeah. But most people, they go down, and hope you had some hits in those first 3 albums. Because most people after the first 3 albums, they don't have that much fire no more.
Like we go back to that life experience thing is super important. I think sometimes when I watch stand-up, a lot of people who want to do stand-up, they sound like they're trying to do stand-up.
Yes.
And I think the best part about the stand-up that I like anyways, I'm not like this connoisseur that gets to... I'm not like a fucking sommelier of fucking stand-up. I'm saying like the shit that,
This is 2015 act out.
Yeah. I like the shit where it just sounds like that person's talking to you.
Yes.
You know, it's just that's that person. I hate it when it sounds like a setup and I know that it's coming and it ruins the magic for me.
Absolutely.
That's what Dave Chappelle does so well. You don't know when his punchlines are coming.
No.
Because it's just the conversation.
It's just, and you don't even, so when I was watching, I felt like I forgot I was watching stand-up until the punchline. I'm like, oh, he kind of lulled me to sleep with the setup and you forget he's telling a joke until he hits you with the punchline. And that's when I remember I was watching one where he talked about he did his jokes backwards. And I was watching him, I was like, I'll probably never be that good.
Yeah.
I just have to accept that. That's what it probably feels like to be in the NBA and watch LeBron play. Like, I mean, we're playing the same sport.
Yeah.
But he's just in a different league than me. Like, I might be an all-star, but I'm not greatest of all time. And I feel like that, and that's okay.
Yeah.
You can still have a lot of fun, make a lot of money doing that. But he's operating at a different level than I am.
How did you get into stand-up? When did that start for you?
Interestingly enough, I started when I was 16.
Same here. That's crazy.
Yeah, 16. My first show was at a church.
Same here.
Yeah, really?
Yeah.
A church talent show. And my brother was like, I was like, man, I told my brother, I'm like, I think I'm going to try stand-up. And he was like, man, this girl that we knew was like, she don't think you're funny. I was like, what? What does she know? And that took me from thinking about it to doing it. And then like 3 or 4 years ago, he was like, oh yeah, she never actually said nothing. I just knew if I told you that, it would make you would make sure you did it to prove her wrong. So yeah, I did it in church, in high school, and then in college. And then I got fired from working in a bank in 2009. And that's when I started going like super hard. Like I was a terrible employee. Like only time I used the copy machine was to print up color pictures of my comedy show flyers.
That's dope.
So one time I left the color one in the originals part and my manager was like, hey, what's this? And I was like, oh, my show, bro. You ain't got to buy no tickets, bro. I got you.
Yeah.
You're on my list. He was like, no, you shouldn't be using this for that. And I was like, oh, you're right. This is a bank. I shouldn't be doing that type of stuff. So once I got fired, I was like, all right, I got to make it happen now. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, I've been doing pretty consistently for about 8-10 years now.
That's amazing, man.
Yeah. And it's a thing that you like, there's no speeding up the process in stand-up. You have to take the time on stage because I think Andrew Schultz said this. Stand-up is the collection of a lot of micro skills. It's public speaking, it's timing, it's reading an audience, it's gauging an audience, it's gauging the room, it's storytelling. And some of that stuff you just can't get without repetition of like this. 100%.
And it doesn't matter how long you've done it. If you took a fat break, you could tell that's ring rust.
Oh man, that's why I can't stop.
Last year I did a college show and I hadn't done stand up in a year because I was focusing on film and stuff. And I was like, I still got this shit. I just bring up some of my old shit. Right. It was like halfway through the set and I forgot all my jokes. I went, Q&A time, guys. So I was like, oh shit. I sat there. I was like, oh, I haven't gone blank in my head since I started stand up. And I was like, oh, it's been that long. Yes. And so I just had to flip it and just start asking
Q&A time.
Yeah, and I turned this shit to a comedic Q&A.
Fantastic, man.
Oh fuck! And luckily it worked out. But in my mind, I was like, "Yo, I ain't shit."
Yeah,
like, you thought you were some shit.
You cannot hide from stand up. That's why Jerry Seinfeld. He did this Comedian Cars episode, and somebody was asking him how he feels about Instagram comedians and all this and that. Like, are you upset? And he was like, absolutely not. And he was like, really? Why? They don't respect the game. And he was like, comedy always weeds out the non-funny.
For real.
No one lasts for a long time if they're not really funny. You will flame out, especially stand-up comedy. Like if you're not really funny, gimmicks, gags, bruh, you can get somebody to pay once. But because a lot of influencers were doing stand-up back in the day, Viners and stuff, and like they were headlining and comedians were so mad. Like, bro, if you're not really good, you only get the celebrity thing first 5 minutes. Yeah. You got 45 minutes, you need to make me laugh. Nothing, it's not gonna be funny just because you're up there. I paid $60.
It was interesting because when I did me, Bart, and Joe booked the same show out in Minnesota. That's where this college thing, they had a huge budget. And so I had to do an hour set and they were the openers for me. Whew. And that was the first time that they ever saw me do an hour set. Yeah. And I got lucky because I've been working on an hour set for so many years. I just never had the opportunity to really do it. Yeah. And so they were like, did you practice a set? I was like, nope. I was like, it might work out, it might not. And so, when I went up there and they're like, yo, your shit was good. And I was like, yeah, well, I've been doing this since I was 16 at that time, nonstop. Yeah. So if I couldn't do an hour set since at that point it was like 8 years of experience, I fucking suck. Right.
At that point, you might want to do something else.
Exactly. Right, so, the show was great. It did really well. Yeah. But I think the reason why I stopped doing stand-up was at a certain point, I made a shift into film, and that started making me happier. Yeah. So like stand-up, I think as you get older, your stand-up just gets better and better and better. Absolutely. Especially because the only reason why I want a kid right now is because for my stand-up. Oh,
children's material. Oh, it's the best, man. Like I'm realizing like people always ask me, would you made it this far if you were single? I'm like, absolutely
Probably not.
No, because my kids gave me so much material, one, and they ground you. Because this business, man, the bigger you are, the more people just tell you, like we were talking about earlier, what you want to hear. But my kids don't care. My kids do not watch my shows no more. And I remember like this tour, my kids had watched, like they'll watch one show. So we were in Philly and we were at this kind of nice hotel. I'm like, hey, you guys coming to the show? And my youngest was like, you gonna do the same jokes? And I was like,
goddamn.
I was like, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's a tour. He's like, nah, I'm good. And he pulled out a cigarette. He was like, heard it all before, Jack. So they don't care. And it's not funny to them no more. So that is really humbling and grounding. People like, bro, I'm not KevOnStage at home.
Yeah.
I'm dad or I'm Kevin, my wife, but they're not impressed by any of that stuff. And also the other part of that is if I lost all that, they wouldn't care either way. If I just worked at Target, my kids wouldn't be tripping. As long as I can still go to their soccer games and we still go watch the movies, they're not tripping about that. And I realized like that is so important in this industry because people, Shannon Sharp was saying this. He's like, fans, like you saw Andrew Luck got booed when he retired.
Yeah.
Like that dude literally had like lacerated kidneys and like going crazy, injured. And the moment he's like, I can't do this anymore, they boo you. And Shannon Sharp was like, that's the thing about a fan. They only blow when you're hot.
Yeah.
And if you ain't hot no more and like, he can't do anything for them anymore. He can't help them win a Super Bowl. He can't get a first down. He can't throw a touchdown. So now he's literally useless to these people. And it doesn't matter anymore.
Don't fuck with them anymore.
Right. So you got to have friends and family who, if I was literally useless, say I got canceled and all my social media got deleted, I still got to have people who I can call for a barbecue and they'll pull up. Even if I'm just an Uber driver or work at Target. And like, that is the grounding thing in my life, my family and my kids. Like they ain't tripping. Like this is a dope ride, but if I lose this, they're not tripping.
And I feel for you anyways, just from looking at it from an outside perspective, it seems like your wife tends to be like a strong rock in your life. Because, even for you being at a bank and getting fired and say, fuck it, I'm going to go to stand-up comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, that support is such a huge thing. When you have somebody in your corner saying, you can do it.
Yes.
Like, I believe in you and they hold you up. Even for you, when you doubt yourself and you have somebody else,
bruh,
it helps so much.
David, 100%.
Right?
Like people don't even understand her value. Like we always get into this because my boy Doughboy, he doesn't like when people get divorced and the wife gets half. Even if she'd been there the whole time. He's like, with Jeff Bezos, he's like, he gave her like half or it was like a crazy amount of money. He's like, why? And he's like, she wasn't in there in the room. Like, bro, you don't realize how much support happens, even if she's not literally working at Amazon. Like when you doubt yourself, they're there. When you, like, I think his wife actually helped with the business plan of Amazon, but my wife is like, she be tagging my jokes, like the hardcore, like, hey, you're doing that joke a little too long.
Yeah.
The last 2 or 3 tags aren't working the way you think they are.
Yeah.
And you could tighten this up. And people aren't like, fans aren't gonna do that. She'd be like, I watched all of them. Like, I remember one joke I used to do when I was young and I had brought it back for my first tour last year and I couldn't get it to work. And I was like, man, it was cool, but it used to be like a closer. And she was like, you're missing the pacing. That joke worked because you hit it faster and it built on itself and built on itself, built on itself. You're dragging it out too much. So the next night I tried it and it came right back. And I was like, bro, nobody in the world could give me that note but her. You know what I'm saying? Because she's been there. So that's why you can't even put a dollar amount on that type of value. There's no value you can put on believing in yourself. That's what I think Kanye lost. Like when he lost his mom, he's just like, he lost the way he saw himself. Like he used to think he was Superman. When you lose that confidence, everything else fails. His music fails, the way he sees the world fails, like all that, at least from his point of view, it's not the same anymore because he don't have the same confidence. And that's what my wife helps with, like all that.
And that's so admirable because I feel for a lot of young people who live in this very fast-paced world, you kind of identify yourself with what everybody else tells you that you are.
Yeah.
And when you don't have a strong foundation to really ground your identity, you get fucked up because you live and die by your likes and your comments.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, I even had a conversation with my fiance. I told her, if all else fails, I'm okay.
Right.
If we're okay, I'm good.
Yes.
All this stuff is a bonus. I'm actually beyond where I thought I would be at this age.
Right.
Everything right now is a blessing and a plus.
It's all whipped cream and cherries now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's the best. When you don't feel like you would have made it this far, it's like, bro, I could lose. And you need that.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be able to lose it all, because if you don't, you'll be influenced to do stuff you shouldn't do.
Mm-hmm.
If you're not willing to lose it all, then you don't have it, because you're beholden to the comments, the likes, the approval and stuff like that. Like, if a whole bunch of creators start doing one thing that like when prank videos were going crazy, I was like, I'm just not gonna. The fake prank stuff, like,
it's not me.
Even if that's what it takes, I just won't make it before I have. Like, I'm just like, come on, man.
Because I got to live with that.
I gotta live with myself, and I'm just not finna do that. Like, there's just certain stuff you gotta have your moral compass on straight, or you'll fall for anything. You know what I'm saying? And I can't look at myself in the mirror and know my kids, because my kids are at the age where they're watching my videos and stuff. I can't put no trash up I don't believe in. Like, I had to, and you have to eat those words sometimes. Like, when I wasn't rocking with the NFL over the Kaepernick stuff, I had to really like be a man of my word, because they offered me a brand deal to do a commercial for the NFL.
Oh, wow.
And I saw the budget in the email. You know, they never really put the budget in the first reach out.
Yeah.
It's like, let's talk, see if you're interested. They put the budget in there, and I was like, whew. Do I hate the NFL? Because I don't know if at that price, I could do it. And I was like, bro, that is selling out.
Yeah.
Doing something you don't believe in just for money is selling out. It's not like, on YouTube, remember back in the day when brand deals first came out, people are like, you selling out, you got a brand deal and stuff like that. That's not selling out.
Not selling out.
Selling out is selling something you don't believe in or you don't agree with for money. That's selling out. That's
what a lot of kids don't. They go, David, you don't get brand deals. It's not that I don't get brand deals. I can't peddle shit that I wouldn't use.
Exactly.
Right? So if
that's why I have a beard right now. Because I got a brand deal from I'll just say a very famous shaving company.
Yeah.
And they're like, you got to try our new razor. It's for African-American skin. You can shave your face with it. Because I never shave my face with a razor, because black men usually have really sensitive
bump stopper and all that
you
shit.
You get bump stopper, razor bumps, all that stuff. And again, they sent me a crazy amount of money, but I was like, I got to test it out for real. And I tested it out, and I could have made the video the next day because my skin was smooth and stuff like that. But I was like, no, let me wait a week till my hair grows back and see. Bro, I got razor bumps.
Like a motherfucker.
Bro, I was like, ugh. And they're like, well, you already sent the video in. You could just post it.
No, you fucked me up.
No, man. Because then even if one person buys it because I said it works and he get razor bumps, there's no amount of money in the world that makes me feel good about lying to someone for money. Like, all I have is my credibility.
Yeah.
So I'm like, nah. And the Lord gave me a beard.
There you go.
Which was a blessing.
Yeah.
Because otherwise I would have never shaved my face, because I had to let my beard grow out to get rid of the razor bumps.
Yeah.
And then I just kept it.
Yeah.
But that's what integrity would do. But you really going to have to turn down some money.
Man, you a good man. I tell you, the NFL came up to me. I dropped my morals real fast. It's like, let me tell you something. I stand with Kaepernick, and here's $30,000. Listen to me, Kaepernick, that piece of shit. He's not doing anything for this country.
Support the troops.
This fool ain't doing shit for this country. All right, him and his stupid ass fro, which, by the way, he does not keep up well.
Oh my God.
I would sell out super fast. Like, David, you a sellout. Yeah, but look at this whip, motherfucker.
I'm selling out in the Maserati, though.
Yeah. I'll let you know that. Now, 30K is not enough to sell out.
Right.
$1 million is a different story. And I know for a fact my fans wouldn't even hate me for it. It's like, you're a sellout, but David, it's $1 million.
I mean, I would have done it too.
Yeah,
that's what most people say, man.
That's a little different.
Right.
That's cool, man. I'm glad you have a lot of sensibilities that I see in myself. You definitely work a lot harder than me, though, which kills me on the inside.
But you guys own businesses. You got
fuck that.
matcha.
I'm talking about you know what your focus is, and I really do admire that shit. Like I said, it's weird because I don't have this thing where I look at somebody's success and it makes me feel bad. It motivates me, right?
Me too.
So one of the biggest reasons why I started following you was because watching your videos motivated me. It reminded me not to hold things too precious.
Yes.
Right? Because I'm watching Kev. He's putting out these videos every day about anything and everything.
Yes.
And even if at the time, some of them I'm like, they weren't as good as his last one, but there was still something that somebody found funny.
That's all it is. And I feel like that you got to understand what I go through. And I'm just like, bro, this is just trash. But I realized I model myself after comic strips. Like I had some favorite comic book strips, Calvin and Hobbes. And some of them Calvin are just like amazing, like the best strips. And some Wednesdays just like, it wasn't his best. But a lot of times people they're just on their 10-minute break. They just want something to laugh at. They don't really care. And as a creator, you cannot possibly have your best piece of creative work every single time you do it.
Impossible.
It's impossible. So it's better to just be like, man, I'm going to just do this. And then man, some of the stuff be going viral. Like, it's frustrating as a creator to put out what I think is really funny. Like, I put extra work into this. I actually wrote a script. Does nothing. Me and my boys arguing about what chips should be ranked freaking on the Today Show. And I'm like, bro, I have had so much better content than not Doritos, fam, not Fritos. But it doesn't. Who are we to tell you what you enjoy?
Oh, you know what? Speaking about that shit, you did a video on this because everybody was doing one.
Yeah.
But I didn't get to try it yet because the lines are too fucking long.
The Popeye's chicken sandwich?
Chicken. Is it that good? Is it good?
It is that good.
Better than the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
Now, the spicy one is better than the Chick-fil-A sandwich. The original one is on par, but the spicy one, and I love Chick-fil-A.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, there's no way. But the spicy one is legit better than the Chick-fil-A sandwich.
What?
And I know, but I couldn't believe it.
I've been trying to get one of those goddamn sandwiches.
They're sold out.
It's just, I can't get one.
They're out, man. It's like Elmo, Furby Mania.
People are like, why don't you do a video? Because I can't get a fucking sandwich. That's why. I've been trying to do a video.
They just announced they sold out, and I don't think they really sold out.
No, they just put a pause on it.
They couldn't handle it.
Yeah,
because it's like that's an integrity thing too. Popeyes has always had bad customer service. They never have the chicken ready, and now they release something that's actually good. They were not prepared for that much influx of people.
I was waiting for Church's Chicken to come up in this bitch because I'm a Church's Chicken till I fucking die.
Really,
I love Church's Chicken. I grew up with Church's Chicken.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
So this is the general rule of thumb for people who don't go to like fast food fried chicken spots. KFC is everywhere. White neighborhoods, Mexican neighborhoods, black, whatever. Church's Chicken is only in a black neighborhood.
Yes, Church's is in the hood.
And it is fucking delicious. It is crispy as fuck. If you don't fuck with a Church's Chicken honey biscuit,
they got the best biscuits in the game.
Hands down. Not even a competition. No Popeyes, no KFC, no Red Lobster. Church's has the best biscuits in the game. Put a little fucking honey on that shit. Motherfuckers don't know. No. They don't know.
Because they ain't trying to go in. They got bars on the window and stuff. Ain't nobody really trying to trust that. Like, I love the bars on the window. Best restaurants are the ones where you have to walk through the kitchen and the bathrooms in the kitchen. Fire food.
This is some real shit. So when I shot this film I did, it's called Gook. There was in the spot that we were shooting, right next to it, it was in like South Central.
Yeah.
Right next to a Church's Chicken. I ate Church's Chicken for breakfast and dinner for 21 days straight.
Oh, wow.
Not even fucking lying to you. I'm not fucking lying to you.
How are you eating Church's for breakfast?
Because the moment that they opened up is when we would shoot, and I would fucking get a Church's Chicken, anything. It would be chicken strips, biscuits, whatever. I would get that shit instantly. Delicious.
Oh, you did not get tired of that for 3 weeks?
No, I grew up on that shit.
Wow.
Because it's my mom's favorite fried chicken too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so my parents own a black beauty supply store. So
that's why the blacks can't get in. The Koreans, man, they were like, they saw it and they were like, they bought in early and now we out.
Yo, I remember this this fucking argument I got with the customer. It pissed me off so bad. Like, number one, she tried to jack some shit and then she tried to get all holier than thou on me, right? I was like, hold on, shit. You just try to fucking jack a box of just for me, and all of a sudden, like, I'm the evil one. You know what I'm saying? What the
How
fuck?
dare you not allow us to own this business that I could steal from?
I know, what the fuck? It's like, why don't you get a grown-ass purchase relaxer? You a fucking grown-ass, you some motions or some shit, the fuck? Anyways, she's like, still in this box of just for me, right? And I got fucking pissed, and she was like, oh, you fucking watching me because I'm black? I'm like, I'm watching you because you stole our shit. What the fuck are you talking about?
And I was like, use that argument when you actually are stealing.
Yeah.
It only works when you're not stealing.
Exactly. I'm like,
you're watching me steal? Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, that's the whole point of running this business.
Like, did you not know this is a black? Everybody's black. What are you talking about? I was like, if you're not black, you're the one I'm watching the most. It's like, what the fuck are you doing here? I was like, yo, you make
That's hilarious. Everybody's black in here. Look at the products.
I was the only people that are not black is us.
Right.
That's it. What are you saying? Is it because I'm black? What are you saying?
It's because you're a thief.
Yeah. This is the wildest shit I've ever heard. I used to get so mad at that shit.
That's
I was like, this
man.
makes no sense. I was like, 99% of the demographic is black.
Yeah.
That's the only people that come in here. So it's not because you're black. It's because you got a box of relaxer in your jacket. And you, for some reason, thought I couldn't see it. Like, yo, get the fuck out of here.
Oh, it's hilarious.
And it's funny because like as I got older, I started getting a mouthpiece on me. And I just started talking back to these motherfuckers, and they're just like, yo, man, this motherfucker's mean. I'm like, your parents are a lot nicer. It's like, nah, it's like, what the fuck? I'm gonna roast your ass if you try to steal from us.
Oh man, it's hilarious, man.
Dude, I'm talking about it's weird because whenever I saw a white person come in, I'm like, you do not belong here. What are you trying to steal?
There's nothing in here for you.
There's nothing in here.
Y'all know y'all don't be using products like that. Y'all don't
This
be washing your hair like
looking
that.
at an S curl. I'm like, the fuck are you looking at the S curl for? Put that shit down, dude.
It doesn't work for you.
Yeah. Looking at sulfur 8, it's like, this stuff good? Like, no, black people don't even like sulfur 8, dude. Put that shit down.
It's hilarious that you have this much knowledge about that
I worked at that store day in and day out. So for me, like identity was weird for me, right?
Yeah.
Because I grew up, Asian immigrant, but I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I just didn't know where the fuck I belonged.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I remember growing up and every fucking weekend, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, there was this truck called Moe's. Moe's would come up in a taco truck and the whole neighborhood would come out. It was a block party. And motherfuckers be shooting dice next to my parents' store and shit on a cardboard box laying up our store, you know? And that was the weekend.
Sounds like a beginning of a hood movie. I bet you're wondering how I got here. See that beauty supply store? That's my family.
Yo, I said this before. There was a corner store too, which I didn't even know that the corner store just called liquor store, right? We used to call it Punjabs. And I didn't know Punjabs was a derogatory term. This is what we called it. So I thought it was Punjabs my whole life.
Right. Was it an Indian person that worked there?
Yep.
Oh my God.
And we're like, yo, you about to go to Punjabs? Like, yeah, we'll go to Punjabs, right? And so, we don't know these fucking things. Right. Because it's just a part of the neighborhood. Somebody shooting dice in front of our store was a normal fucking thing.
Absolutely.
Right? We had Lord Tony's artistic fingers. He did that was next to our store. The motherfucker went to jail. For doing some crazy shit.
Oh, it's hilarious, man.
Yeah, man. Like that was my upbringing growing up as a kid. So I grew up in like the thick of things, right? And it was such I used to hate that experience growing up because I think I compared my life to other people's when I went to college. Yeah. But then at the same time, it's a reason why who I am to this day.
Absolutely. That is your core programming. Yeah. Did you get a whole bunch of you think you're black or you ain't black or you?
My God.
You and Tim probably led the league in that.
Yes, we got that comment so consistently. And I started getting so fucking mad. Yeah. Because even for me, when I was trying to get a job, I was trying to get rid of this type of twang I had in my voice. Right? And even right now, I'm trying not to do it. Right. But it's still there. I don't hear it, but other people hear it. Yeah. So they were, are you trying to be black? I'm like, what does that mean? I don't know what that means. I'm just a product of my environment. Yes. If I grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, everybody spoke like this. Yep. Then what the fuck am I supposed to do?
That's how you, all we are is our relationship with other people.
Yeah.
My boy, Big Irish J, white dude, big 6'8" white, grew up in a predominantly black neighborhood, predominantly black church. Same problem. Like you trying to be, he loves black women too. He's like, bro, this is what my boy said was fine. This is what's fine. Like this black girl, he's like, white girls, ugh. Yeah. Like, it's just like, you're white. Like, I know, but
I know something about them. They smell funny.
Right. But that's it's the same thing. Like, and that's a different thing. I feel like it's the whole Miley Cyrus thing. Like she didn't grow up with that and she tries to profit off of it. And then when it no longer serves her, she puts it back down. Yeah. I feel like that's what bothers black people. But if it's who you are, bro, I mean, black people, we are really like inviting.
Oh, for sure.
You let a white dude, you can dance, you can hoop, be like, oh snap, look a white boy, come on. Like we're really loving like that. But just don't pick us up and put us down when you don't need us and stuff. Because when it's cool to to use us to get big up and then to drop us. That's what it feels like. All right, you trash family.
Yeah, it's that odd thing, right? Because for me, growing up in that type of neighborhood and just kind of growing up around black people my whole life, I also went to a black church and everything else. Yeah. Like I wanted to be an R&B singer because of like the black community and shit. You know what I mean? So it's like my shit was fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, I really didn't know who the fuck I was. I was like, fuck, I'm Asian. I guess. Fuck, I'm eating weird shit. So I guess that does make sense. But I just remember just that identity crisis was such a weird thing for me. But I feel very blessed that I did get to grow up in such a culturally diverse area. Yeah. And I think for me and like just the black community and Asian community, there's a lot of fucking similarities.
Oh, absolutely.
It's unreal how similar we are.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. Like, number one, if you beat your kids, that's the similarity.
You know what's funny? Like, I had a stand-up set one time, and I didn't... So, at the time, we're pulling up. I just plugged the address to the GPS. I didn't know where I was going. We pull into this Korean church, and I was like, that's odd. Like, it was a conference, but I didn't realize, like, it was at a Korean church. I'm like, maybe it's just at this church. So I see a lot of Honda Civics with spoilers and stuff. I'm like, oh, that's an unusual amount of like Civics and stuff. But I'm like, it's no big deal. Man, I go in, it's like 600 Asian people, right? High school, college. And I'm like, man, I'm finna bomb.
Yeah.
Because at the time, a lot of my jokes were about my upbringing being poor. Bro, my first about 15, 20 minutes is about how I grew up poor, family getting beat and stuff like that. Bro, the audience connected like
Easy.
You would not believe. I'm like, bro, we literally have the exact same experience.
Yeah.
We got totally different skin color, everything else. But that experience with our parents was verbatim. They were rocking and laughing like black. And also Asian people were like, I was like, are they even going to laugh? Because Asian people are usually more reserved.
Yeah.
Bro, they had the time of their life. And I'm like, bro, we really grew up the same way exactly because those jokes work. It don't work if you didn't grow up like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, there's definitely a lot of similarities. And we both be frying chicken.
Oh, for sure, dude.
Black people loved Asian people's fried chicken.
So that's the shit I didn't fucking get, right, when I was a kid. So, when you just grow up in a black community, a lot of these stereotypes and a lot of these racial words you don't hear until you're not around black people.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
For example, I didn't know the word spook was a racial black term. I only heard about that shit when I went to college. I was like, what's that?
Yeah.
Because black people don't call each other spooks.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck?
No,
there's some crazy ass words like that.
That's the white people stuff.
Yeah, there's some white people shit out there. But then I remember just like the fried chicken joke and the watermelon joke didn't make sense because that's what Korean people love. Korean people love when you have your, it's called a peggy. It's like your 100-day when you're a kid. You have a fat fucking watermelon in front of you.
Word.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I got a picture of me as a kid with a fucking fat watermelon in front of me. You know what I mean? And then the Koreans' #1 drunk food is fried chicken and beer.
No way.
Yeah. So
that's Ludacris' album.
Yeah, exactly.
Chicken and beer.
So
this is our stuff.
So I was like, are black people trying to take a Korean stereotype? I was like, what they trying to do right now? That's our shit. But it's just something that people use to make fun of black folk. But I'm like, who doesn't like fried chicken?
That's why I never understood that. Everyone likes fried chicken.
Yeah.
Like, is that the worst stereotype? Like, who don't like fried chicken?
Yeah.
Just vegans.
Yeah.
But people who like meat usually like fried chicken. It's an American thing.
Yeah.
Watermelon too. Most people like
who the fuck doesn't like watermelon, dude? Are you out of your goddamn mind? If you don't like,
never done nothing to nobody.
If you don't like fried chicken and watermelon, you're a rapist, dude. How about that? How about that? You belong in jail, you sick fuck. I'll put it out there. Put that on a billboard right now.
My God.
There's something wrong with you.
That's hilarious.
I never understood those stereotypes,
Oh,
man.
yeah.
It was interesting though, man. Like especially you said you grew up all over the place because you were in the military.
Yeah.
In the military?
My dad's in the military, so I grew up. Well, my first 10 years were in El Paso, and so I grew up around 97% Hispanic people. I used to speak Spanish pretty well because everybody speak. Yeah, and I fell out of it because I moved around. But when I was a kid, you were taught it in school, and then literally all my friends spoke Spanish, so I was always speaking Spanish, and it was great because we had regular kids have burgers and hot dogs at school lunch. In El Paso, it's taquitos, nachos, quesadillas, like all Mexican food. So that first 10 years was bliss. So I went from that to like, I remember when when we were moving to North Carolina, we drove through Atlanta, and I'd never seen that many black people like outside of my church. Like I had a small church, maybe 60 people, and that was the most black people I saw. But in Atlanta, it was like the pilots were black, the flight attendants were black, everybody who worked in restaurants was black. And I was like, yo, we really out here. Like, I did not know black people be out here like that. So they move around military bases, obviously like more diverse than most of America, but still like a lot of white people. So that military base growing up really impacted who I was because you move around so much that you really are either extremely extroverted or extremely introverted. Because you gotta learn to make friends fast, and your friends, like all my friends in a 3-year period, they all come there. You have like maybe 18 months where you're all chilling, and then people start moving. You know what I mean? So my kids, like, they've had the same friends since like first grade, third grade, because we moved here finally, and they've been going to the same school. Like even before my parents were my dad was in the military because my parents got married when I was like 7 or 10. When you're poor, we moved around a lot. You just like rent gets high and all that type of stuff. So I always moved around a lot. So my kids being in the same school, same friends, like a little girl who liked my son since he was like in 2nd grade. And now they're going into 8th grade. And I'm like, man, I didn't even know anybody.
Like?
Yeah, like y'all known each other since you were in 2nd grade. Or people like, remember in movies when they like put the little like this is how tall Timmy was when he was 5 and 13. Like, bro, first of all, we couldn't write on the walls. Second of all, we never stayed in no place long enough to do that. We weren't like, nobody owned homes. Like not a lot of people owned homes and stuff like that. So all that stuff was really new to me. So I'm trying to like instill some of that stuff in my kids and stuff. But
your kids seem really well-rounded though, man.
That is the greatest compliment.
They seem very well-rounded.
Not to mess up a whole, because when you're a parent, man, you really shape somebody's worldview. Like the way you see the world is more than likely how they see. They're going to either see it the exact way you do or turn 100% and do it the other way.
I'm trying to make sure when I have kids, they don't ever hear me speak. Because I don't want them to be like me. Like, I got some harsh ass opinions about everything.
Well, they're gonna be like you.
I hope not. Please be like your mom.
You or your wife. A combination of both is all you can hope for. Because one of your kids is gonna be all David Jr.
Dumbass. Oh, he's gonna be stupid, dude. I was so dumb as a kid. Like, oh God.
But maybe they'll take after you and later in life.
I hope so.
Because they don't know young you. They only know you in your current form.
Because I see some other people and they're so kind and they're very, they know how to speak well without speaking their mind too much, right?
Yeah,
and I'm like, man, I wish I could just take a little bit of that. But the first thing that comes out of my mouth is like, God damn, you a stupid motherfucker, dude. I just want to say it so bad. My friends just had a conversation. They go, dude, I just ate before I came here after I trained, and he was telling me, he goes, you know what? Last week, he goes, I know there's something very interesting about you. He goes, I could tell when you like somebody, you like them, and when you hate them, it's apparent.
I'm the same way.
He goes, this dude was talking to you, and you just went. He goes,
you wear it all on your sleeve. Yeah, it's like tough, man.
And he goes, and I was telling him I do that because if I say something, I'm gonna say something rude to him.
Right.
So I'd rather just be quiet and just let him speak. Just
the
let
fact that he saw you probably go like this.
He said he saw me melting like a fucking ice cream cone in midsummer. Just disintegrating. Like, please get this guy to shut the fuck up.
And
man.
your kids will notice that about you. Like my kids know when I'm like a fan meets me and stuff. Mm-hmm. They'll notice when I fake laugh, fake smile. They're like, you didn't really want to take that picture, did you? I'm like, bro, shut up. I was like, how do you know that? Like, we've been around you, bro. We can tell when you take a picture with your friend and you take a picture with a fan, it ain't the same, man. You be fake laughing, man. My oldest he be on me like, your fans deserve better, man. They deserve better from you.
Yo, you know who's really good at that shit? Tim is the best at interacting with fans.
Oh, yes.
Tim will go out of his way, make eye contact with somebody to make sure that they know who he is.
Really? I feel weird about that.
You know why I feel weird about that? Because I feel like I don't deserve that type of praise.
Me too.
I feel I do not deserve you coming up to me and saying that I'm a good person because I feel so undeserving.
Right.
So it's not anything to do with you. It's not that I'm not appreciative. It makes me feel like I feel like I'm sucking my own dick. I don't know how else to put it.
You can tell when somebody recognizes you, but I never want to be like, you know me, don't you? Because I always have this fear they'll be like, no, I wasn't even looking at you. Like, I don't ever want to feel like that guy who like, you know me. So I'd rather you come up and say, hey, Kev, love, you want to take a picture than to me to be the one to do that because it feels very like self-serving to me.
I learned a big lesson too where I used to hate this thing where there's like 99% of the time when somebody comes up to me, you'll get a picture and everything. But there's like a 1% where I don't want it because maybe I'm not having a good day or I'm spending time with my lady.
Which is possible.
But people don't like that prospect. No. They think, oh, you think you're better. It's like, no, you just happen to be in that 1% where I just didn't feel it today. Like I'm a human being.
Yes.
But check this shit out. I heard the story about Will Smith. A buddy of mine used to work at Interscope. And when he was working at Interscope, Will Smith got off his phone a business call to come up to him and say hi to him and take a picture with him, have like a 5-minute conversation, got back on his phone. And I was like, wow, if Will Smith is doing that, who the fuck do I think I am? Like, I'm a piece of shit. I got to really reevaluate my life. I really ain't shit, fucking Will Smith.
Dang.
Yeah,
that makes me feel awful.
Yeah.
Because sometimes they catch you the worst time for me is if I'm like just taking a red eye and you catch me in the airport and I'm not even like, you fly from LA to Atlanta and you're walking around at 6:30, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning to your body.
Yep.
And people catch you, they're like, oh, you don't seem to be in a good mood. It's like, I'm not.
Yeah.
I haven't even slept on. I slept on a plane, which is already trash. It feels like 3 o'clock in the morning, but the sun is shining. You all happy and cheery. Like, that is a tough spot. And that's when people catch me and I'm the worst off. But most of the time, I want to have a good interaction because I don't want people to be on Twitter like, I've been following you for 10 years and you were a jerk to me. Man, I would be tired.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Like one time it was weird. We flew to Cleveland and a fan was like had come there and like looked at the flights and was like, they're probably going to be on this 8:30 flight in from LA. And she got dressed, she had makeup on, and she waited for the, like, when you come out of security before you go to baggage claim. And she was like, I knew you guys were on that flight. Can I take a picture? I've been here for 2 hours hoping you guys were on that flight. And I studied the airline stuff to make sure that you guys were probably going to be here.
You were going to die that day.
Bruh.
She was going to kill you. She was going to chop off your ear like Van Gogh and put that in a box. And that shit would have been game over for you.
I was like, bro, there's no one on earth I would ever spend that much time researching.
100%.
I love Will Smith. Denzel would never in a million years ever do that. Even if I knew they were coming, like,
Isn't that crazy how much you affect somebody's life, though?
Yes.
Like, you were probably there for her at a time where shit was going dark and you made her laugh.
And that's what thing, like, that's different about us versus like the Will before he got on Instagram or Denzel. Like, if you're like a Idris Elba fan, like he's your favorite, you watch everything he does, it's a movie, maybe 2 a year, and then like a 6-week promo period. That's all you get to see. If you're a fan of mine or yours, you can watch a video every day, your Instagram, your Twitter, your stories. Like, that's a lot more of you to consume. So when they see you, they feel like, I know you because I watched all your videos. And that's, if you think about it, we put out much more content than they 100%. Have. Hours and hours and hours for years. Like, Will didn't make a movie for like 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
If you take 1 year off, you still have 2 more years on Will Smith. You know, and then when you come back, it's, you know, the engine's back on. So people have consumed a lot more content.
Yeah.
And so they're like, when they see you, that's it. This is my only chance. Like, people don't realize how rude they come off sometimes. I remember I was in New Orleans talking to my sister. We were at a club and she had a drink in her hand. I was like, what's in your drink? And a girl came up and pushed her. Was like, excuse me, Kev, I'm a bit, like, literally with her elbow, like, pushed my sister. My sister, this is the youngest one. She was like super black. She had braids. She like, you know, like I could see her out of the corner of my head.
It's like where they snatched the attitude in the scenario.
Bruh, she was livid. And I'm like, this person does not understand how rude that was. So I tried to diffuse the situation because I knew my sister was about to go off. So I was like, man, that's the sister I don't care about anyway. And then she apologized to her, but people don't know or they don't care. They got to take advantage of it that moment. And I get that. But sometimes
they get excited and they act really weird. I've definitely had situations where this is the worst thing that has ever happened. I was talking on the phone with was it my mom or was it Mariel? Either way, I can't remember, but it was a serious conversation. It was with my mom. Very serious conversation.
Yeah.
And somebody rolled up in a car. And number one is a dude who knows who I am, but he's acting like he doesn't know who I am, which is the most irritating, right? So it's like I'm on the phone and I'm sitting on a curb, very serious conversation. The guy rolls up in his car. He goes, "Hey, I know you from somewhere." And I go, "Hey, what's up, man? How you doing? Hey, I'm on a serious phone call real quick. Just give me a second, right?" And I was talking on the phone. He goes, "Hey, real quick. Hey, man, say something funny." And mind you, I'm already having a very irritating conversation. I was like, "Bro, I'm on the phone. Can you give me a second, right?" He goes, "Oh, you too good for me and shit." And then I literally went down and I walked up to his floor. I was like, "I will fuck you up, dude." I was like, "What the fuck is wrong with you?" And I just started going off, right? I was like, "Yo, get the fuck out the car. I will fuck you up." And I just got fucking mad. He goes, "Oh, I'm so sorry, man." I was like, "Then what the fuck are you gonna do, man?" It's like, because you were talking to me like you wanted to scrap. Right. I was like, "Okay, I guess we're gonna have to fucking scrap now."
Yes.
And I'm gonna be on YouTube as the guy that beat up a fan. Right?
That's what ADD fans are like.
Oh my God,
because
so
roasting
mean.
is so popular.
Yeah.
They don't know you, but they feel like they do. So they walk up and insult you. Like, that used to happen to us all the time.
That shit's terrible.
What up, you milk dud head boy, old bald headed? Like, bro, I
don't know you like that.
Bro, I'll fight you.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, you know what I mean? Like, can you imagine doing that to somebody you don't know? Like, you're not going to expect them to be, "Oh, what up, my boy?" Nah, bro, who you think you're talking to?
Yeah.
Like, and when I'm roasting my boys.
Exactly.
You are a stranger. Like, we laughing off camera. Like, I don't know you.
Yeah.
But they feel like because they watch hours and hours of that content that I do know you. And in some ways they do if you're really who you are on social media. But that doesn't mean I know you. Like, personally. You know what I'm saying? You're a stranger to me. So people don't understand that, though.
And it's funny because that dude wrote something on Twitter about it. And then I responded back to him. And I remember because he responded back to him. I was like, "No, I'll tell you what the real story is." And then people started getting on him. It's like, "No, you were disrespectful." And then he deleted his tweet.
Of course.
It's like, bro,
people don't want that heat.
Yeah.
They want to paint. That's what I'm talking about. That interaction where he was clearly the rude one of this interaction. Yeah. He gonna go online and try to make you the bad guy.
100. There was another person too who was talking all big, saying that they said some shit to me. Me of all people. So she was saying that he was saying that he was talking some shit to me, and I didn't say anything at all.
Yeah.
Right. And this is somebody that I know.
Oh, snap.
Right. And he went back home, and he was telling people that, that I'm Mr. Hollywood, and I wasn't saying shit to him when he was talking shit to me. And I was like, hold on a second. Me not talk back?
Right.
That's a part of my branding.
Right.
What do you mean?
That don't even sound like you at all.
And so I assume that he said this in like a drunken stupor with like a group of our, friends or associates or whatever, right? But no, he was telling that story to individual people, and it came back to me, and they were saying like, yo, did he say this, and that? He's been saying this and that about you. He goes, is this true? Because it doesn't sound like you.
Right.
I was like, well, you guys are smart. Right. Because I'm no way I'm gonna let this fucking dweeb out wordsmith me. You know what I'm saying? Right. I was like, you are out of your fucking mind. And so I went back recently, and I was like, yo, let's meet up and talk about this. Not in a fight type of way, but it was like, what's your problem with me?
Right,
he goes, oh, no, it's not like that. Like, I think they got the story twisted. I was like, that's funny, because then 4 or 5 people got the story twisted then.
Twisted exactly right.
Exactly.
Like, they all got it twisted in this exact way. That means you probably was telling that story like that.
Yeah, it's like, what does that do for you? And I thought we were friends, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck? But then, one of my friends put it to me like this. He goes, it's a situation where somebody doesn't feel good about their life. Oh, so whenever you're doing well, and for a majority of our friends, we're really proud of you.
Right.
But there are a few select people that will say bad things about you because things aren't going well in their life.
People project on you positively or negatively.
Yeah.
They're either enjoying you and your trips and all that stuff, or they're like, who do you think he is? He ain't better than me. Like, either way, they're projecting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough game, man.
Yeah. Oh, fuck, man. We got through this podcast like nothing. Usually these podcasts,
they run in 30 minutes
hour
already?
And 30 minutes. I feel like I keep going, but.
Wow.
Have
me back on again, man.
Yo, let's get it, man.
Let's do it.
Yeah, this was fun. Hey, but where can they find you, Kev?
KevOnStage on everything. Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook.
See, that's the smart move. I should have kept this as the Davis O Comedy Podcast, but I switched it up to GeniusBrain.
I can tell you were just like, I'm GeniusBrain all the way. I'm not going back.
Exactly, and I fucked up. So I was like, I'm about this shit. And then I look back, I was like, I need to change this shit back. I fucked it all up. Nobody gives a fuck about it. They're like, who's GeniusBrain? I was like, oh, I forgot to tell people. That's the thing I fucked up. I forgot to tell people. I just uploaded it, and they're like, who the fuck is this? And I lost like 10,000 subscribers. I was like, hold on a second. I didn't tell people I was doing this, did I? And I was like, oh, I fucked up. I was like, oh, God, David, you're an idiot.
You'll get them back, man.
Yeah, it's all good, man. But KevOnStage on everything.
Appreciate
Remember, you can listen to this podcast on Spotify, any type of audio platform, iTunes podcast. Leave in the comments below what you think about Kev and everything that he's saying. I'm the biggest fan of this guy ever.
Thank you.
Guy's the funniest motherfucker on earth. Next year when you do a stand-up special,
I'm gonna have you pull up.
I'm about to throw my underwear at you, bro. And I'm a big boy too. That shit's about to come down like a parachute. What the fuck is that big ass cloud coming down?
Coming down slow, like what?
Like what
the fuck? Hanes?
I know, there's like a fucking rising sun on it and shit. All right, y'all. We'll see y'all next time.
All right, man.
Peace.
Appreciate y'all.